Hey friends, so today we are getting into self-confidence. Obviously, as with any other topic that I talk about on here, this is something that for a long time I struggled with. I did not grow up in the most encouraging environments, and so because a lot of the people around me were not nice to me, when someone came around and they were, it made me feel like they had ulterior motives, or it took me a really long time to get comfortable with someone paying me a compliment because due to my trauma, when someone did, it was always backhanded, even if I didn't always catch the joke. You know what I mean? So I might have been in a room and somebody be like, "Oh, you're so pretty," and then there may be someone else in the room that kind of smirked or felt a way about it or what have you. Or I can recall, even like as a young adult, there would be things about me that I loved about myself, but the people around me that I expected to love me and nurture me, would make me feel bad about those very things that I was excited about. So obviously, through a lot of self work, I have overcome that. But I wanted to drop a few videos on you guys and we talk through them, talk about them. I'll share my own personal experiences per usual. So let's go ahead and get into it.
This is why you trigger other people's insecurities.
People are automatically not going to like you, and they see how people gravitate towards you and how you interact with people and your light is shining. It's automatically going to trigger their feeling of inadequacy. They're going to feel like they're not good enough. They're going to feel like something is wrong with them. So when they see a person such as yourself, you're confident, you know who you are, like you're strong. A lot of people have self-esteem issues because that's the way that society teaches us to be. Society teaches us to be not confident and to, being confident is you're being cocky and you doing too much. So when you come in contact with a person with mental and self-esteem issues, your very presence is going to trigger them.
I can attest to this. I was that insecure person when I was younger. Like I would see all of these girls and I would just I would envy them. Like I would want to be like that. And I just didn't have, I didn't have the charisma or the self-confidence or the self-esteem at the time to be that. Like I really, when I was younger, thought that God made people a certain way and didn't make me that way. And like I've talked about in plenty of videos, I did go through some abuse as a child, and that played a large part in it. But I was very envious, definitely. Like there was people, it was so bad, y'all. There was people, complete strangers, like even like celebrities, and if they were the one that everybody wanted, I was like, I don't like her. I was a hater. That's the best way to put it. I was a hater because I didn't love me. I wasn't taught to love me. Those were the people that I was jealous. I was very much jealous of them. I'm thinking back to my first 2 years of high school, and even I don't like to call people ugly, but the unconventionally pretty girls were getting, the attention that I called myself wanting. And I realize now that it was literally just because of how they carried themselves. Like people can smell insecurity on you. And I realize now that I didn't get the energy or interactions that I was looking for because I came off as desperate for that approval. So I definitely can attest to what she's speaking on because I was that person on the other side. I was the hater. That's why it's so easy for me to now, in the place that I am in now, to talk to you guys about these things and say, yeah, I understand it. And this is what this is because I was there. And, it is that whole adage of hurt people, because when I was hurting, I couldn't see the other side of that. I couldn't see these people even really for completely who they were. I really did just feel like, oh, they're full of themselves. Oh, they're this or that. And then you get to know these people and they're some of the nicest people that you'll ever meet. But your insecurity, it hinders you from seeing that because you feel away.
You know who you are. Like you have very high self-esteem. You don't think that you're better than anybody, but you know exactly who you are. So when you come in contact with those type of people, they're not gonna like you. They
Yep.
gonna feel like he do too much, she do too much, she thinks she too much, she thinks she this, she thinks she that. They have low self-esteem. They don't know who they are. They're in tune with what society wants them to believe about themselves. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I used to fall for that trick so much when I was like super young. A lot of people didn't like me. They thought that, oh, she thinks she too much and she this, she that. No, those type of people don't like themselves.
Yep.
Like your presence makes them feel like they're not good enough, because when you walk in your true purpose and your light and you attractive and you confident, they're not gonna like that. Insecure people aren't gonna like that. They want you to be insecure just like them. They want you to not have self-esteem and to not be your best version of yourself, because that's what they're doing.
Yep.
It's really like a crab in a bucket type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? They're only judging you because they're afraid. They're afraid to be who they are. They're afraid to shine,
Absolutely.
but you're not. When you come in contact with people that try to tear you down and and try to make fun of you, and he not doing this and he think he this and blah 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 and all of those negative childish type of things, don't pay attention to it. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep shining. Like, keep being the best version of yourself. Because it's people out here that need you. We all need each other. And we can't help each other if we pit it against one another. And you letting those negative people affect you and you get mad at them, and don't get mad at them. They haven't graduated to that level of understanding to where they can be confident, and be who they are.
Let me tell you how you really, really build your self-confidence and your self-respect. It's not just about looking good, because I think as women in our modern day society, we think that our confidence is all about how we look. But confidence is so much deeper than what you see on the outside. Confidence is internal. You have to do the internal work by keeping your own promises to yourself.
Yes,
You
Lord.
build your self-confidence by honoring yourself.
Yes.
That means if you have certain standards, you build that confidence by upholding those standards. You build your self-respect by saying, you know what, this is what I expect. I'm not going to accept this. And when you see yourself in a situation, when you come into a situation that tests those boundaries, you say, you know
Stand on
what,
business.
I'm going to hold myself accountable because I said, like, this is not enough for me. This is what I expect. This is what I want.
Right.
And you keep doing that over and over and over again.
Yes.
As time passes, it will come so much more naturally to you to say, this is who I am, and this is what I'm not going to stand for. These are my boundaries, and the internal work that you have done will reflect throughout your life.
Absolutely.
So you're going to exude confidence from the inside out. So yes, your makeup can be laid, the outfit can be on point, hair looks good, but you will exude that self-respect and self-confidence from the inside out. And the best part about it is no one can take that away from you.
I love that. I always say that, like, when you're healing and when you're doing the work, I don't think that we realize how much of these things are an exercise muscle. So in the beginning, it's not going to feel right to you because you're so comfortable in the toxicity that you've been taught is normal to you, right? So, for instance, one of the things that I struggled with was telling myself that I was beautiful and actually believing it. And so one of the practices that I did for myself was when I got up in the morning and I would go to groom myself, so brush my teeth, wash my face, do my skincare, right? I would force myself to look at myself in the mirror. And that was something that was really hard for me because a lot of the time, unless I had a full face of makeup on, it wasn't always the easiest for me to do that. You know what I mean? And so now it's nothing to look me in the mirror, look myself in the mirror and be like, girl, you cute today. Or like, I get excited about like my weight loss and I'm looking at my face and I'm like, oh my God, like my face looks like my old face. Like, granted, yes, I don't look, 20 something anymore to me. I don't look like I did to me at 27, but or 24, whatever the case is, but I'm happy with me. Like, um my even like the loose skin, right, from the weight loss surgery, it doesn't bother me. And I remember I had an aunt that had the same surgery as I had. And I remember when she like cuz she's done losing weight now, but she had gotten to a point where at one point she was like, I'm going to go to this surgeon, I'm going to get this done, I'm going to get all the skin removal surgery, and she was really adamant about it. And then one day she was like, "You know what? I'm okay. I'm all right here." And that's true self-love, is to look at yourself and genuinely say, am I making these changes to make me happier? Or am I making these changes for other people's acceptance? I'm going to find the post real quick because I want to share it with you guys because it resonated with me. But Hood Healer put a post up today. And I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but she pretty much in a nutshell was talking about people that use spirituality as a means of like, they use spirituality and they say like, oh, I'm sexually liberated, and then they start posting like these thirst traps and things like that. She was saying like, are you genuinely doing that because you feel free, or are you doing that for validation? Because if you really feel being sexually fluid and sexually free, you don't have to be naked on the internet to be that, right? It's pretty much what she was saying in a nutshell. And she was saying like, you're not going to ever really attract who you want to attract, because regardless of what you're doing, whatever you're calling it, the energy doesn't lie. So the energy that you're operating in doesn't lie. Just like the first lady in the video was talking about like the desperation. And I spoke on that as well for myself. Like people can smell that on you, right? And so I commented and I said, you know what? I said, until I did the work, I definitely was fishing for validation. I said, and God gave me everything I thought I wanted so I could truly see how I was moving wrong. And I started to really realize like I'm attracting these kind of people, and I would get frustrated, but it was like, girl, well, look at the kind of bait you're throwing out, right? And I wasn't thirst trapping like some people were thirst trapping, but just anything. Like one of the things that I used to have bad was I would lead with my money, my worth in myself, because like I've always said I wasn't confident in how I looked. Now I can look back at pictures now and realize there was literally nothing wrong with me, but at that time I wasn't confident in how I looked, and so I was always so focused on being like a hustler and being a hard worker and, oh, I ain't never gonna be homeless again and whoop, whoop, right? And I started to lead with my money, and I started to value myself based off of the amount of money that I made, because in my mind I didn't have like the beauty currency, right? And so it hits different. It really does. Like there's a way now where like I remember when I really first started on this journey with myself. And one of the things that I would do is I'd make sure like when I was outside that like when people looked at me, I smiled, because my initial thought, I would always smile back, but my initial thought would always be like, is there something in my face? I wonder what they're thinking about me, whatever, whatever, whatever. Right. And then I started to tell myself, okay, well, when I'm outside and I'm looking at people, judgy. Like I might look at somebody and you might just be staring at them and they might be insecure about their thick eyebrows. But like as someone who used to be a makeup artist, and I just, maybe because I'm in the beauty industry, I love features. I'm really big on features. Anybody around me will tell you that. Like I will look at somebody and be like, oh, you got your mom's Cupid's bow or whatever. It's kind of like my thing. I don't know why, but that's just how I am. And so what I started to do was I would just pay compliments to people, because I know for myself that one, like I said, I had a hard time believing it, but two, I didn't really get so many of them. So it's like when I would get them, I would be like, what do you want from me? But then when I wouldn't get them, I would think like, oh, they probably think that I'm ugly or I'm funny looking, or, and then you're already uncomfortable, and you just send yourself on this downward spiral. So me being me, when I see people, like if I see them, I try to find something on a person that I can compliment. So you might be insecure about your thick eyebrows, but I may be like, oh my God, I love your eyebrows. Like, or like my daughter, for instance, baby girl has like her dad's ears, and I think that they are the cutest thing. And she's not at a place right now where they bother her, but I love them so much. And when she was a baby, y'all, they used to literally just stick out the side of her head. Like they were so cute to me. And so literally I didn't realize it, but because I love her ears so much, anytime I style her hair, whether I'm braiding it, or just doing her some ponytails, I always try to like pull her hair away from her face so that her ears show. And I always ask her, like, what's mommy's favorite like feature on you? And she'd be like, I don't know. And I always tell her, like, it's your ears. But one, it's like, I don't know if that will ever be a source of insecurity for her, but it's like, no, I really do love them so much. And I want her to be so in love with herself. And obviously that starts with me, that if when she, because now she's in, you know, in TK. But if anybody ever said anything negative about her, I want it to be so foreign to her that it doesn't even make sense, that she doesn't pay attention to it. You know, and so I love that this young lady spoke on the fact that, like, yeah, you know, you can dress the outside, but people can tell, people can see. I mean, look at these people that get like all these plastic surgeries, and I'm not against plastic surgery or enhancements. You do what makes you feel better, but you should be able to look at you in your natural state, excuse me, and be happy with it. You know, like, and then one thing that also kind of toughened me up too was all the times that I would go viral on social media for doing my hair. Because I've mentioned it a trillion and one times that, yes, I happen to experience hair loss from weight loss surgery, from COVID, from having children, and also from grief. So anytime I'm in a state of stress or grief, my hair falls out. And so, but I looked at it like, when I got up there, I'm showing you my talent. Like, you know, but there's people that are insecure. And I had to also realize that there's going to be some people that have the same condition that I have, and they're going to be grateful that they see that, oh, that I still have options, right? But then you're going to have some people that see you, and they're going to be like, because they're still insecure, they're going to try to tear you down for it, because they're not that secure in what they got going on, right? And it cracks me up when I will post hair videos and they talk about my edges or whatever, and I'm like, clearly I know I ain't got none. I got on the camera without them, right? Or I remember I went viral. I did like a get ready with me for date night video, and people really assumed I was catfishing. And for a tiny second, it took me back to like teenage me, and I was like, damn, am I really ugly? Like, oh my God, like, you know, and it wasn't even that. Like, they talked about everything. I love long, dramatic eyelashes when I do wear them. They talked about my eyelashes, y'all. I hadn't waxed yet. They talked about my underarms. They talked about my edges. They talked about, you know, I had put makeup on, and they were talking about my makeup. And I was just like, all these people are projecting. That's all it was. You know, because people see, you get fed new videos like every 7 seconds, and people are not looking at you like a human being. They're just viewing you as content. Right. And so, and then there's people that get upset with you because you're so secure in yourself. Because there were people in that video, like, on commenting on my video, like, oh, well, what are you going to do when he starts coming around more? And I'm like, I've been with the same person for 6 years at that particular time when I posted the video. I'm like, I've been with the same person for like 6 years, you know, and it's just like, but it's, you have to learn to realize that those outside things have nothing to do with you. Everybody's fighting battles that they don't speak of. There's people that will see somebody that, you know, are so insecure with themselves that they'll see a video of someone's engagement and be like, oh, all he's gonna do is cheat on her in 12 years. Like, because their hurt is showing. And so I had to learn, and it took me a very long time, y'all. This is why I make these videos, because these are the kind of conversations I have, like, with my daughters, especially my oldest. She's 15. I have these conversations with my young clients, you know, anybody younger than me, shit, people my age, whatever, older than me, because I don't want, if I myself can add anything of value, I want to make sure that those around me, especially the younger ones, that you get this and it becomes second nature to you long before you reach my age, right? And so it's like at 34, I can honestly say, like, I really love me, y'all. Like, I really love me. And it's such an amazing feeling. Like, thank you, God, for real. Like, it's such an amazing feeling to be able to say that and not be worried about if I'm gonna bother somebody, or if somebody is looking at me like, whatever, you know, like. And then you realize also that a lot of the people that treated you away did that because they didn't want you to see who you were. They saw it. But once you figured out who you were, they were no longer going to be able to benefit off of your sickness. And so, you know, I always, when I talk to the younger people around me about this, I always say, practice it. Practice it until it becomes second nature. Practice it until you start to believe it. Practice it until there's no resistance in your body when you say it. Right? And I used to always say, like, God, show me what others see in me. Those that truly admire me and love me, for me, show me what they see in me, because I don't see it and I want to. Right? And so now it's like, when people pay me compliments, it's not like a cocky I know. Like, I won't say I know to the person. I'll say thank you. But it's one of those, like, I take it as confirmation. Like, I had someone tell me the other day, like, like, you're beautiful and you so into people and your outside matches your inside. And I see how much you give to everybody else. And it was just confirmation. It wasn't like oh, well, thank you. Or, it didn't feel unnatural. It felt like, well, thank you for that. Thank you so much for recognizing that. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was one of those. But that comes with work. It comes with work. And because these things, all I try to do is be who I needed when I was younger. And to make sure that, if nothing else, that my babies have that. So that when they go out into the world, if anybody has anything to say to them other than what I've said to encourage them, it's going to sound like Chinese to them.
To be the kind of woman who nobody can tell you who you are because you already met yourself.
Baby girl, you cooked and the meal was delicious. I cannot stress to you enough how much self-love is a journey. Loving yourself is a process. You have to learn to love yourself, unless you were just magically born into this supremely healthy family dynamic where you never had to unlearn and relearn anything. But what shifted every single thing for me was truly finding my identity and becoming unwavering in who I am as a woman. I don't allow anybody to come in my life and tell me shit. And it's not from a place of arrogance or being unreasonable. It's not from the space of not being receptive to constructive feedback or even negative feedback.
Keyword constructive.
It's from the space of me being so deeply rooted in who I am, my character, my being, my value system, my worth, and most importantly, my source, who I come from. I am so deeply rooted in those things that you can't come into my life and tell me about who I am. And when you realize you know who you are, nobody gets to come into your life and dictate anything to you. They don't get to come in and gaslight you and try to manipulate you in different ways by accusing you of being something that you're not. So I can't stress to you enough. Before you focus on doing anything in your life, like a part of the reason why patriarchy conditions you to seek out marriage before you even seek out yourself is because if you become a wife before you even become a woman, your entire identity is going to be attached to that man. And you'll never develop an identity of your own. Know who you are, and when a woman develops an identity of her own, she's less controllable. And the last thing society wants is a woman who is not controllable. So while you think it's just simple as low self-esteem, and I'm sorry, there's the gardener, it's actually compounded into so many different factors that all dwindle down to the fact that you have to truly know who you are in order to not let people tell you who you are.
Yes. All of that. Yes.
This one's going to be a little bit trickier, and I know from personal experience. One thing that white women can do to stop cultural appropriation is stop dating colorist men of color, particularly black men. When I say I have experience, it's because as a black woman, I also have to navigate not dating white men or other men who fetishize me. You know what I mean? So I just need for y'all to realize that the way that they fetishize you is not love. You deserve more. You deserve better. You deserve somebody that's not with you for a look. And you deserve a man that doesn't need to put his own women down in order to make you feel better. And if it does make you feel better, that's where the problem starts for you.
You need to go see the lady. You need to go see the lady.
Who told you that you're supposed to make other people feel comfortable about you? Who told you that their feelings about you is your responsibility? Who told you that their insecurities are supposed to be your concern?
Hello?
Well, you're not. And they ain't. Your only responsibility in life is to show up as your whole, authentic, full self. No matter what room you step into, no matter what table you sit at, no matter what corridor you walk down. You get to be unapologetically true to yourself at every single moment. And who can't handle it is not your business or your responsibility.
Don't even need to be
so
in your
let
space.
them deal with how your presence impacts them.
Yep.
And you simply continue being present and making your impact.
Y'all, I cannot begin to tell you how many times I've had people, the minute I started to work on me, like the minute I started to just like, I'd be climbing up that emotional intelligence ladder and climbing up that self-esteem ladder, how many people on their way out would be like, you think you're better than anybody. Oh, you just think that you're this and this now. And it's like, oh, you think that? Oh, okay, thank you. And I can remember, y'all, the last time somebody said that to me, I'm not even lying to y'all. The last time somebody said that to me, I couldn't even touch this me now. Y'all. So I look at it now, once again, like that was my confirmation. But at the time, it was like, damn, like that's what you think of me? Like, because it was like, girl, I don't even got no self-esteem yet. Like, I can't possibly think I'm better than you because I don't even like me still yet. You know, like they see it. They see it before you ever see it, y'all. It's crazy. Like, and that was the thing. Like, I had to remind myself, like, you don't got to be in these rooms. If the room is not safe, baby, get the fuck out the room. Like, I enjoy kicking it in here with me by myself. I be chilling. And then I realized too in my business, because y'all know I'm a hairstylist, I became a better hairstylist when I healed myself. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. Because yes, I was always there for my clients, right? I was always a safe space for conversation and all of that. But once again, due to my PTSD, I would look at people like, what do they want from me? And it was a point in my career actually where like I would do your hair and I didn't want you to talk to me at all because I just thought people were bad, right? I just due to when I was operating in my hurt, everybody was bad. I didn't trust everybody. I have a story time on all of that. But now it's like, I'm going to do the best that I could do, right? I'm going to give you 120 every time. And if we don't rock, we just don't rock. Like, it's cool. Thank you so much for supporting my business. And yeah, see you maybe not never, you know, like, but there's no hard feelings. I don't feel a way about it. It's none of that. Like, and that in itself is a blessing. Like when you start truly sewing into and working on you and really truly being comfortable in you and being your own safe space, y'all, so much shit changes around you. So much shit changes around you. And I spoke on in another video. Uh-oh, my laptop is getting ready to die. I spoke on in another video on, you know, protecting your peace is also, you know, when you're not meant to be in certain rooms or when things don't feel good to your nervous system, like keep pushing and not even apologizing for it. Like I'd rather be wrong in protecting me than to worry about how everybody else feels and then hurt myself.
Let me share something with you that I didn't learn until I was about 25 years old. If you want a certain type of man, a certain type of lifestyle, certain type of friendship group, certain type of opportunities, networking, etc., you cannot keep walking outside with no effort being put into your appearance. You can't. I get it. I truly get it. You know, I am who I am. Take me for who I am. You know, the world should just take me for who I am. If I'm being honest, they should. But unfortunately, we live under the patriarchy. The world is misogynistic. And I'm also a black woman. So, if I'm being honest, my opportunities are limited when I present myself in a certain way, which is unfair, but it's just facts, okay? It's just facts. So for me, when I hit about 25, I started thinking to myself, if I want the type of life that I say I want, I'm going to have to start doing things differently. That means stop showing up to work in tracksuit bottoms or in them trousers that have a hole from 3 years ago. And you want people to take you seriously and you want that promotion. Okay? Put some effort into how you look. You love yourself. Nobody's saying you have to wear heels. I mean, that's just my preference. But no one's saying you have to do all of that. And no one's saying you have to do a full beat either, but just a little lip gloss, a little something. I'm telling you as your big sister, do something. And I promise you, your life will start to shift. The things you want you'll start to attract them. They'll start to come closer to you. Okay, you'll become a magnet for the things you want, because you putting effort into how you look and feel says a lot about, how people should treat you and what you think you deserve.
I agree. Look like you give a shit about yourself.
I'm coming on here just to remind you guys that you have to go so hard about yourself. Like, you genuinely cannot play when it comes to you. Fuck anybody else's approval or validation.
Yes.
Dive into the mindset of really only needing to prove anything to yourself. A lot of y'all ask how I'm so confident, and it's because I really don't need anyone to tell me that I'm doing good, tell me that I'm on the right track. That is something I know within myself. I literally talk to myself and I'm like, yeah, DT, you got this, you got this. I'm at my apartment like, easy money, stay on track, Drew. Don't play about you. A lot of us are looking for these external sources to give us that boost of confidence. But when you really will pop off when it comes to your confidence is when you just don't play about yourself and you bet on yourself every single time. Because I'm a bet on myself every single
Period. What did I say? Like, when you become your own safe space, baby, you don't need nobody to tell you Nathaniel. Like, nothing. Like, nothing. You won't even second guess it. You be like, shit, I told me I was killer.
So this is my advice to women who don't feel that beautiful. Watch to the end. Number one, you are not the only person struggling with identity issues or loving yourself. There are millions of people, no matter what you identify as, there are millions of people around this globe, probably about 1 billion people, struggling or have struggled to find who they are. Number two, a lot of the negative thoughts you hear yourself repeating to yourself and saying to yourself, they are not your thoughts. They're your parents' thoughts or your hater thoughts or people who came at you when you were a child and said the most repulsive things to you. You can hear that replaying in your head. Number three, how are your positive affirmations? Like, what do you say? Do you repeat nasty things to yourself or are you pouring love into your cup? Which one? And number four, even if you don't feel that pretty, there are always going to be people who find beauty in you. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. My mama always told me that. So if you're struggling with yourself and you're struggling to love yourself, there's always somebody who's going to think that you are gorgeous. I fucking do.
Period.
So I need you to get you a notebook and I need you to journal 5 things that you love about yourself. I need you to write down 3 things that you adore about yourself. And I need you to make out a contract and promise yourself that you're going to change and you're going to start elevating and loving who you are as a woman. If you guys are looking for a beautiful aesthetic planner, I have created my very own Black Girl Planner, and this one is strictly for the girls to help you heal and elevate. And the planners for all women are coming, don't worry. But I know how Black women, we will hold that title of being strong. We will hold that title of being loyal. And we will hold in all of our pain, drama, trauma, everything that we're feeling in the inside, we hold it in, and I want you to journal that out. So the link is in my bio if you want to go check that out. And if you don't, baby, that's okay. I just came to tell you that I love you. I fuck with you. Start loving and fucking with yourself so nobody else can tell you nothing. You were brought to this earth for a purpose. You have purpose. You have a calling. Start to love who you are, love the process, say what you mean and mean what you say, and stand on who you are.
Yes. Love it. I used to write letters to myself.
Let me give y'all some gems. I'm better than this moment. It will pass. I love myself at and in every evolution, both beneficial and non-beneficial, good, bad, or indifferent. I honor myself for operating in the fullness that I could at that time and at that space. I am proud of myself for the bravery to grow. I'm proud of myself for finding tools and figuring this shit out.
Period.
I will give myself grace to figure it out. Grace to stumble. Grace to pause. I highlight and I cancel. This is my favorite. I highlight and I cancel all contracts and agreements that don't serve me for my highest good. And I give myself permission to evolve as often as I need to in any way that I need to without explanation.
Come on. Come on with it. Yes.
This one mindset shift changed everything for me. And that's understanding that having low self-esteem is a result
of shame.
Yep.
Being ashamed of yourself, being ashamed of your past, being ashamed of like who you are. And really just having a poor relationship with yourself, like not treating yourself like a friend. And just feeling like you're undeserving or feel like you are just only deserving of a low-hanging fruit. Yep. Let me give you some tips and tricks, and at the end, I'll give you a book recommendation. Affirmations. I know. I'm completely mind blown that people don't believe or understand how powerful affirmations are and the reprogramming that takes place when you start to talk to yourself like you give a about yourself, like you like yourself, like you love yourself. It makes a world of a difference. Number 2, keep your promises to yourself.
Yes,
if you say you're going to wake up early, get up early. If you say you're going to go to bed early, go to bed early. If you say you're going to work out, go ahead and work out. Even if you only hit 1 sit-up, you kept your promise. And the last one is celebrate your small wins. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate your small wins. A cup of coffee, go out to lunch, a long bath. But these tips will help you get into a better relationship with yourself, so you start treating yourself like a friend and not like an enemy or like a slave. Get up, do this, go there, do this, do this. That's not being a friend. And the book I would like to recommend for this is The 4 Agreements. The 4 Agreements is the first book that I read on my spiritual journey. And it really helped me to get out of those contracts that I made with myself that I used to protect myself, but are now hindering me. And it will do the same for you. So yeah, be nice to yourself, or you're going to have low self-esteem.
I agree. So when I was on my healing journey, I started what I called the Be Your Own Homegirl movement. That's why I call myself the good homegirl. So literally what I had to tell myself and come to terms with myself was you give all this love so freely because you want somebody to give it to you, but you're not giving it to you. And so literally the whole purpose of the Be Your Own Homegirl was literally, we always give good advice, right, to everybody else, but we don't always take that advice. And so I started to deal with myself, kind of stepping outside of me. So if a situation happened, I would imagine that I was someone else. So I would let's say, picture like you're in like a therapist's office or something, or you're sitting down with a friend on a couch. And let's say your friend comes to you and they say, this person said this and this and this and this about me. How would you deal with your friend? How would you nurture your friend? How would you, if the friend needed to be corrected, how would you correct that friend in love? How would you sow into your friend, right? And then once I would do all of those things, then I would say, okay, now give it all back to yourself. And it helped a lot with journaling because I literally would write down the thing that I was struggling with, right? This and this happened today. It didn't make me feel good. These are all my feelings on it, right? And then I would literally underneath that, right? If this was insert close friend or family member, whoever, if this was such and such, how would you respond to them? And so I'm stepping outside of myself, and I would literally write down yada, 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 whatever the case is. And I would be validating feelings and all of that, right? And then after I wrote everything out, then I would tell myself, okay, read it back to yourself and insert yourself in it. And y'all, a world of things started to change for me. I have plenty of videos on here about learning how to self-validate and talk to yourself and say, no, that didn't feel good. That wasn't cool. You didn't deserve that. Okay. What are you going to do to protect yourself next time or take care of yourself next time? I just recently had to tell somebody that I'm super close with that, you know what? I love you, but in order to take care of me, I can no longer be responsible for you and your emotions and feelings. And for the first time when I said it, y'all, I was like, did we say that? Oh shit, we said that. Okay. All right, self. And it was one of those things where I was proud of myself because I'm the eldest daughter. I got a video in here about that too. I'm the eldest daughter. I'm the oldest everything. I'm the kid that's still parenting my parents, right? And so for me to sit there and tell another grown person, yeah, I love you, but I will not be responsible for you anymore. Y'all felt like I was fucking Thanos out here. You couldn't tell me shit. But it's true. You gotta sow into you. Now, I did read the 4 Agreements, but I always tell you guys in every video when I talk about this, that the book that changed my life was You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. Now, before I read You Can Heal Your Life, I read a book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Susan Jeffers. And the reason why I read this book was because I was dealing with really, really bad anxiety. This was coming off of the pandemic. I was dealing with really bad anxiety, and I had developed social anxiety, and I was just put me into like sent me into a panic attack. So if it wasn't like anything outside of me going to work or taking care of these kids, it made me anxious. If I did anything else, it made me anxious. And so I found that book and I read that book, and they spoke about how, she spoke about how a lot of those fears and insecurities that we have are initially implanted into us by our parents. And it's not always a means of malicious intent. Sometimes it's, their way of trying to keep you safe because of their own fears and insecurities. And so from that book, she recommended You Can Heal Your Life. Sorry, y'all know I got a dog. I'm trying to make sure that he's not doing nothing crazy. And he's a Frenchie and he can be mischievous. But you guys, You Can Heal Your Life changed my life. I really wish sometimes that Louise Hay was still alive, because I would write that woman a letter and tell her. And imagine still helping people out even when you've already crossed over into the spiritual plane. But that book gathered me all the way up and validated that, yes, the things that happened to you, you didn't deserve. But now you have the chance to turn those things around. And it talked about how the longer you hold on to these things, the way that these things can manifest into sickness and stuff like that. And I think I want to do a series on that book, where I actually like read it with y'all, kind of like a book club. If you guys want to do that, let me know. I'm so down. But that book changed my life. And then from that book, I read Create Boundaries. Actually, no, yes. Set Boundaries, Create Peace by Tidra Niwab. It's she's a Black author. I actually follow her on Instagram. And I love her book because what she does is she'll break down like, okay, so if you went through this in your life, here's how you set the boundary here. So this is what this looked like to you. This is why you might have been afraid to set this boundary. This is what setting this boundary looks like. And then she gives like a story time. That book was so helpful. Another book that I read was Sensitive is the New Strong by Anita Morjani. Y'all, I have bought that book and given it to so many people. That one and Dodging Energy Vampires by Christiane Northrup. Y'all, those books really helped me see that there's nothing wrong with you being an empath. There's nothing wrong with you caring about the people around you, but you can't do it at the expense of yourself, because all of this that you're giving to everybody else, a lot of people are they're going to accept it. But then when you have nothing left for you, then what are you going to do? So, and the Dodging Energy Vampires, that one helped me so much. Oh, and there's another one, I'm looking at my bookshelf, called Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Y'all, let me just say that Dodging Energy Vampires and Children of Emotionally Immature or something like that. I'm gonna find it. I'll link it below if I remember. But those two books single-handedly helped me heal my inner child from the traumatic childhood that I had, and to forgive my parents for the things that I had went through and the people that I was exposed to. Y'all. So I definitely agree with this young lady when she said, like, learn to be your own friend. Treat yourself how you want to be treated. Treat yourself how you treat your friends and how you sow into people. And watch the things around you change.
Hey, beautiful. If I was to ask you if you like yourself or if you love yourself, you would probably lie to my face, especially those of you who are incredibly prideful. You will whip your neck around like a giraffe, hold your head back, and you will scream from the pit of your belly, I love me. Then you will go on to sing some Leviathan-infused song that was inspired by one of your idols. But the truth of the matter is, most people don't love themselves because they haven't learned how to love themselves. This is because they were raised by parents who were raised by parents who were also raised by parents who did not know how to love themselves. They were raised by a generation, they were raised by a lineage of people who really don't know love. And where there is no love, there will be false information and a whole lot of pride. So what I'm about to do is I'm about to give you some signs that you don't love yourself. I don't know how long this list is going to be. We'll see. Number one, you can be incredibly hard on yourself. Don't get me wrong, hold yourself accountable, but you can be relatively abusive to yourself. Consequently,
I used to do that.
You may find yourself attracting people who are abusive towards you as well, but you keep trying to beat them to the punch. So you repeatedly put yourself on punishment. You call yourself stupid and a host of other names. This has everything to do with your belief system. If you believe that you're worthless, you will allow people to treat you as such. That's because you see them as more valuable than yourself. Number two, you tend to give more in relationships than you receive. And this, you say you're welcome more than you say thank you. That's because you're essentially buying everybody in your life. And not just with money, but you're always making yourself available for people who don't make themselves available for you. You're surrounded by takers. And you keep thinking that if you love people enough, if you give enough, that they will eventually come around. They will eventually see your worth and see that you're loyal. That's not going to happen. They're just going to keep using you until you shut off their supply. Number 3, you quit everything that's beneficial to you, especially when it gets hard. By this, I mean what you're doing is you're constantly stopping yourself from developing. This is to say you will quit a job, a relationship, a church, or any organization or anything that you have been benefiting from the moment they don't do what you want them to do. That's not self-love, that's self-sabotage. Number 4, you will not invest in therapy.
Calling me out,
you won't invest in anything that could be beneficial to you. The only things that you will invest in are things that decorate the outer you. That's because you're looking for somebody or you're trying to attract somebody that will love you more than you love yourself. Number 5, you love hard. I've preached this before and I'll preach this again. There's no such thing as truly loving somebody hard. It just means that you're obsessive and clingy. It means you tend to be loyal to people who don't deserve access to you. Again, this comes from the common belief that if I love this person, if I support this person, if I prove myself, that the person will turn around and love me in return. This means that you have a tendency to give people an advance on love, hoping that they will eventually pay you back. They won't. Get this, you'll have to forgive their debt because they don't have the capacity to love you back in return. I think I'm on number 6, but if I'm wrong, forgive me. Number 6, you're incredibly prideful. All right, this is where the demonologists have to come out. Pride is a guarding spirit. It protects every other unclean spirit, especially the strong man that is operating in your life. And not just demons, it's there to protect ungodly systems as well. Like that system of self-sabotage, Leviathan or pride comes to guard it.
Wait, now remember I told y'all I used to place my worth on how much money I made. And I would lead with that. Oh, I worked 7 days this week. Oh, I made this much this year. Oh, I bought this shoe. Oh, I finally made the money to buy this and that. And da 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 da. That was me, y'all. Like, this lady is reading old me for filth right now. Like, that was me. Like, it's crazy. And I love that she's calling it out the way that she's calling it out. Like, I definitely had a prideful spirit. Like, and it wasn't even a you can't tell me nothing because I know me. It was like a you can't tell me nothing because bitch, who is you? Like, and it was a protective mechanism for me. It was like, okay, I'm not gonna let y'all bully me no more. So now I'm gangsta about me. But I was still going about it the wrong way. And people can see that, bro. People can feel that.
Number 7, you exchange your body for love. Again, this is an advancement. You think that if you allow this person to clap you, that they will eventually come to love you.
And baby, no.
And you should know this by now, but you are a gambler as it relates to your heart. You keep trying your hand at love in a different dude or a different dudette, not realizing that you're not tapping into love because you don't love yourself yet. Number 8, you wrestle with people pleasing. You want so bad to fit in that you're willing to do whatever it takes for people to accept you and to affirm you. This typically has everything to do with how you were brought up. You weren't given the love and the affirmation that you needed from your parents. So now you're out here trying to find people that will love and accept you, and you keep saying in your head and in your heart that you will be good to these people, that you will be faithful to these people. But that monologue continues to lead you into places and relationships where you're repeatedly disappointed and your heart is repeatedly broken. Number 9, you keep people around who don't like you or don't love you simply because you don't want to be alone or because you esteem those people. In this, you'll much rather fit in than to stand out. Number 10, you tend to fall in love with people or become clingy towards people who do more for you than you do for yourself. And yes, I'm talking about people who do the bare minimum. This is because you're not used to anybody doing anything for you. So whenever somebody comes along and they do something small for you, you esteem what they've done.
All right, y'all. I'm going to have to stop sis because sis is reading me for filth right now, y'all. Like, I literally just had this conversation with my little sister. And I was explaining that to her. Like, I look at certain relationships I got in and it was like, well, it's still better than the one I was in before. Or this person is doing things for me that like my parents didn't do. Or I've never had a man do this for me before. Like, y'all, she is so, if she ain't calling nobody else out in this video, sis is calling me out bad because what all of these things that she brought up was me at one point, y'all. All of it, all of the people pleasing, the trying to buy people, the accepting fucking dust because it was more than what I had the last time. Like, y'all, wow. And all I can say is, I know that like y'all are seeing me get excited, and y'all are probably looking at me like, what the hell is wrong with her? Why is she excited about this? Because it's confirmation to me of my own growth, y'all. Like, and how far I've come in this thing. Like, wow.
From there, you feel like you owe them for the rest of your life. They can take you to McDonald's and buy you a Happy Meal, and you will clap like a registered seal at a zoo simply because they did something nice for you. This means that you will minimize everything that you've done for them, all the while exalting everything they've done for you. Number 11 is pretty self-explanatory. You have a substance addiction. You are slowly but surely taking yourself out of this planet by bringing some type of substance into your body. Number 12, you will not make any major investments into the inner you. Again, you may make investments into wigs and stuff that decorate the outside of the cup, but you won't do anything to fix the inside of the cup, like get therapy. This is because you wrestle with a people-pleasing spirit. Number 12, you wrestle with loneliness. This means you don't like your own company. There are a billion beneficial things to do in this world, like join my children's book writing course, but you choose to sit around and just kind of scroll the internet or deal with depression whenever you're not talking to somebody, you don't have a friend that you can get on the phone with, or you don't have a boo thing that you can entertain. I think this is number 13. You treat the right people wrong and you treat the wrong people right. What I mean by this, anytime someone truly accepts you, you tend to minimize them. But whenever people are rejecting you, tend to exalt them. Kiss up behind them even. Listen, the list can go on, but let me give you a remedy. God is love. It is impossible to love another person without having first the heart of God. This is why he said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Think of it this way. I want you to imagine that God is a river of love and you have a bucket called a heart. If you never go to that river, you won't have any love in that bucket to give. If you rarely go to that river, you won't have much in that bucket to give because you will consume whatever you do have upon yourself. Or you will repeatedly allow friends and family members to take what you do have. Of course, we know that God is Abba, and the word Abba means source. This means that you don't have any love to give if you haven't gone out to get it. And the only one who can give you love is God, because the Bible again tells us that God is love. Love is not an emotion. Yes, there is an emotional aspect to love, but love is not an emotion. The Bible tells us that love never fails. And let me mention this, there's a time where that lack of self-love will move into low self-esteem, and it can eventually grow into self-hatred. I know I'm about to make somebody mad with what I'm about to say, but I got to tell the truth. A sign of self-hatred is sleeping with somebody else's man or somebody else's woman, or allowing yourself to be somebody's sneaky link or a friend with benefits. Now watch, somebody who has a whole lot of pride and very little self-love will come out and say, no, the reason I'm a sneaky link or I have a sneaky link, it has everything to do with the fact that I like being clapped too. Let me ask you a question real quick. First time you drank a beer, did you like it? 9 times out of 10 you didn't. You beat your taste buds into submission. Because let's just be honest, beer is nasty. The same is true for sneaky linking. You likely made your mind up that being a sneaky link was a good thing whenever you came to realize that you would never get the love from that man or that woman that you wanted. So you started looking for the good in it. Yes, even those hot and heated moments where that person is looking at you and they're making you feel loved. That's your reward for the moment. This is to say the only way that you're going to find love, the only way that you're going to experience love, the only way that you're going to be loved is to chase God first. It's not to chase God, it's to chase him first. And of course, one of the ways that you can do this is by studying your Bible. All the same, you need to clear the cachet of the people in your life who don't love you. Get this, many of them are scabs. They will begin to fall away from you as you heal. All the same, you need to change your inner dialogue. You need to say about yourself what God says about you. You say, Tiffany, what does God say about me? It's in your word. You're going to have to study the Bible. But he does say that you are beautifully and wonderfully made. It does say that you are the head and not the tail. You come above and not beneath. You come behind and no good thing. Additionally, some of you need to change your number. That same dude or dudette that once had access to you should not have access to you anymore. So your cachet. One of the things I neglected to mention, one of the things I should have mentioned, we'll call this number 14. You won't do anything to advance yourself. You settle for a job that you hate or a low-paying 9-to-5 job simply because you just want to have enough money to survive. Surviving is not living. Shameless plug. If you want to learn how to write books, let me help you to get to the next level of income. Go to the link in my bio that says Children's Book Interest Meeting. It's $1.99 to attend one of those meetings, and the course starts at $299. Next meeting will likely be Saturday, March 25th, and the class will likely start on June 8th. But getting back on the road with the revelation, I need you to understand that it is literally illegal, spiritually speaking, for you not to love yourself. We have 2 laws that we have to live under today. Number one, we must love God with all of our heart, mind, and our strength. Number two, we must love our neighbor as what? As we love ourselves. So the same measure of love that I extend to myself, I need to extend to my neighbor. But get this, if I haven't gone to the source to get that love, I won't have enough love for myself, and I definitely won't have any love for my neighbor to give. So then I can end up being mean, cranky even, self-centered, all because I let the thief put a price tag on my soul. You better than that. So what you gonna do about it? Don't just sit there and look at me. I need you to do something about it. Get up, start studying your Bible every day. I need you to get up and go to church. Ask God what church He wants you to go to. I need you to learn to get on your knees. In prayer, that is. And I need you to learn to stand in front of the mirror and say about yourself what God says about you. Because you are beautiful. You are a masterpiece because you were created by the Master Himself. You are worthy because Jesus Christ paid the price for you. Now get ready to scroll on, but before you do, I need you to type in the comment section, I'm doing something about it. And go check out some of the links in my bio. And don't forget to hit the like and the subscribe button. You are invaluable.
I love that. I really appreciate that video. This is why I be leaving everybody's
Personally, I take having high self-esteem as a sign of feminism. Because if you think about it really, the patriarchy and people who benefit from exploiting people affected by the patriarchy want you to have low self-esteem so that way you give them access to your body and to your time and to your mental energy. I was talking about this with my best friend, but so many of the times that we hook up or we get into sexual situations, it's not because we actually want to, it's just that we want the validation that we can because we've been told by the patriarchy that we can't. For me, especially as someone who is in a black, very, very black body, I know that the white supremacy patriarchy does not want me to feel good about myself so that way I can share my body with others. I refuse for that to be the case, okay? So I'm fighting the good fight by loving myself today, and I hope that you're doing the same.
The thing everyone gets wrong about becoming your highest self is that you think things will change and then you change. That is backwards. You change first and then things change. That is the energetics of abundance. And here's what I mean by that. If you think about what your highest version would be, like the best version of yourself in this life, most people assume that you will only reach that version once you get a certain level of money, or if you live in a certain place, or if you're with a certain kind of partner or whatever, right? Which is why most people never actually achieve it, because that is the reverse of how the energy flow actually works. When you begin to act like and think like and operate like the highest version of yourself, you are automatically raising your dominant vibration, which is how you feel on a regular basis. When you raise your dominant vibration, that is also raising your point of attraction. So we only attract to us in kind what our own vibrational frequency is, right? This is quantum physics. It's not woo-woo or it's law of the attraction. It's all the same thing. But if that's the case, and we know that to be true, and scientists tell us that that's true, then how could you buy the thing and then it affects your internal vibration? That couldn't work, right? Like, because the attracting doesn't go that way. It goes this way out.
I love that she said that. This whole thing is just confirmation,
y'all. Let's stop
for
caring about what people think about you for good. Number one, get into the habit of writing down, reviewing and learning your own opinions and your own values, because those are the ones that matter. What do you think about this thing? Stop asking everybody else's opinion and neglecting your own. Number two, get to the core root of why you even care in the first place. Is there some truth to what they're saying? Sometimes people might be saying things to you and it hurts you because it's true, and that's fine as well. And number three, have an okay and attitude. They said that, but and you're still going to wake up every day. You're still going to live your life. You're still going to go to school. You're still going to go to work. Like, they shouldn't affect you in your daily life. Do you understand? Okay, you don't like me. And what? The world is still going to spin around. You're probably putting this person on a pedestal. Do you understand? Take them off that pedestal you've put them on and put yourself at the top of that pedestal, because it's your opinion that matters.
Exactly.
A lot of young black girls message me like, how do I build my confidence, this and that. It starts with you, and it's those little things every single day that's going to build your confidence. Maybe that's, you need to bring a big bottle of water with you every day to school. Drink it. Just drink on it every day, you know. Or You know, finding hairstyles that you feel like suits you on the weekends or the summers are the best time to experiment with your look. Getting dressed every day. You know, even if it's just a 2-piece set that matches. Put on some jewelry, you know, brighten yourself up. Don't always wear black all the time. Wear things that make you feel comfortable. Don't Everything isn't for everybody. That's why it's important for you to experiment with what makes you feel comfortable and what looks good or compliments you. Okay, that's very important. Don't let people project their beauty standards onto you. You know, I wouldn't have locks if I did that. Do you understand how many people be like, don't get locks, don't get locks? Now look at me, fine as wine, baby. I used to take a walk after school with a friend every day around the neighborhood a couple of times, couple miles a day. And you know what? It felt good to just have a healthy habit that will make changes over time. Summer was my favorite because that was the time I could learn, maybe like I learned how to do my lashes over a summer. I learned how to do my hair over a summer. I would try different hairstyles for when I go back to school that I could do on myself, so I didn't have to rely on nobody's doom. Okay, I would mix and match. I would take days and I would just mix and match the clothes I already had, stuff I already had in the closet. I would ask Mom take me to Goodwill. I go to Goodwill. I was really good with a pair of scissors, looking up on YouTube how to cut this shirt cuter, this and that. Confidence starts with taking care of yourself, regimens, putting out clothes the night before so you're prepared for the next day, not rushing in the morning. Having the time to really care for you will eventually just build your confidence. Even the small things, like I said, going on a walk, drinking water, your brain will start to just say that, oh, you look good, you look better today, oh, you've been doing this, you've been doing it's a part of life. Just go with the flow, try some of these little things and see how you feel.
I agree.
You are way too beautiful to care about what people think about you. You have to unlock the most confident version of yourself. And I'm about to give y'all the key to confidence and give you 5 things. Not cutting me off. 5 things that you need to know in order to become the most confident version of yourself. Okay, starting off strong at number 1, you have to develop
with the okay and
mindset, and that's literally gonna change your life. People's opinion about you does not matter at all. And let's say somebody does fix their mouth to come up to you with an opinion of something that they think about your looks, the way that you are, whatever. You need to tell them with your chest, yes, and okay, and like, okay, and what now? Like, let's say somebody comes up to you, right? Actually, I'm gonna give you an example. For example, I'm tall, right? I used to be so severely insecure about my height that I used to never even put on a shoe if it had a little bit of a heel on it, right? Bro, let's say now I wear heels all the time, and let's say somebody came up to me and was like, you're so big, like you look crazy being so tall and still wearing heels. I'm gonna look at them dead in their face and be like, okay, and?
Right.
Okay, and? Like, thank you for your opinion, but and what now? Like, and what? Who cares? Like, okay, and like, it does not matter. It literally does not matter. They say that to you, or even if you have something negative to say about you, okay, and I'm still the baddest, so I do not care. That's what you have to start telling yourself. And literally any single negative thing that you hear about yourself, be like, okay, and what now? Like, I'm recording in my car. Let's say somebody came up next to me, knocked on my window, and was like, you look crazy recording in your car right now. How dare you do that? I'm gonna be like, okay, and thank you, bye. I'm gonna keep on carrying on though, because period. Okay, number 2 is that your perception is your reality. I feel like this is the biggest one. This basically means that what you think is all that you know, if that makes sense, and all that you're gonna know. Like, let's say somebody came up to me right now and they were like, the sky is literally green, and 5 people behind them, they was like, right, isn't the sky green? And they all were like, yeah, but I know that the sky is blue. They could say that all that they want. I'm gonna still think that the sky is blue, like, because that's all that I know, and that's all that I have to know, because their opinion and their reality doesn't matter. My reality is the only one that matters. Exactly. So let's say somebody who the whole world thinks is ugly, thinks that they're the baddest in the world, then that's true, because that's what you think. That's all that matters. People's opinions of you don't have to matter unless that's what you think about yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like, bro, somebody come up to me and be like, you're so ugly. I'm just gonna really be like, okay, you sound so dumb. Like, right, it's not gonna faze me, because I know that that's not true. Exactly. Like, it doesn't have to faze you either what people think about you, because if you think that you're the most beautiful girl in the world, that is true. That is a fact now to you, just because you think that way, and that's your reality. You get what I'm trying to say? Number 3 is you get one life. You literally have one life. I cannot stress this enough. you get one chance at life. You literally get one chance at life. Would you rather, and you're gonna have that same face that you have right now for the rest of your life, the same body that you have right now. It might change and it might look a little different, and you might be able to change it here and there, but regardless, you still have that one body and that one face. You have to live the whole rest of your life with yourself. All these other people whose opinion you're worried about, they're all gonna come and go, but you're born alone and you die alone, literally. I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's true. So you have to start loving yourself now, because what are you gonna do, spend the rest of your life hating yourself? No, eventually you're gonna start loving yourself. So why not just start now? Because why not? Like, literally, why not? Confidence is a choice. Like, that brings me actually to point number 4. You might have to lie to yourself. You might have to become a little liar just for a little bit. If you don't feel like you're the most beautiful girl in the world, you have to act like you are, and act like you think that you are. Every single time you look in the mirror, never say a negative thing about yourself in the mirror, ever, 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 ever. You have to look in the mirror and literally fake it till you make it. Walk around how you would if you were confident. Start saying things to yourself in the mirror how you would if you were confident. When you look in the mirror, instead of noticing first thing the bad things, as soon as you start to think of a bad thing, switch over immediately to think of 5 good things. Tell yourself, you might even think you sound crazy in the mirror, but be in the mirror like, you're so beautiful, I love you so much, you're so amazing, look at you, you look so good. Like, how you be hyping your friends up? Hype yourself up in the mirror. That is so, like, it's so key. And I've seen this girl say the thing about confidence is that nobody knows if it's real or not, and that's so true. Start faking it and it'll become your reality. I promise you, this is literally what I did. Even to this day, I have days where I hate my body. Like, I have days where I hate myself. Everybody does have those days. That's okay. But you'll never catch me, no matter how I feel, saying something bad to myself in the mirror. Like, you have to just only say positive things to yourself in the mirror. Fake it till you make it. Stop telling everybody that you're not confident. No, fake it and it's gonna become real. Just please trust me on this one. Like, it's so key. Like, okay, hold on. Actually, I'm gonna challenge y'all for 7 days. Only say positive things to yourself in the mirror. Every single time you walk past a mirror or walk past a window or whatever, be like, you look so good, like, period. And I'm telling you, it's gonna become your reality. Hype yourself up how you do others and become your own hype man, your own best friend. And it's gonna, I'm telling you, it's gonna change your life. Finally, that brings me to point number 5. Stop caring about what people think about you. Like, people do not care about you as much as you think that they do.
I have to
Everybody
learn that
has their own life that they're living. People are not that concerned about what you're doing. Let's say you post something and you've been wondering for months, like, oh my gosh, I don't want to post this because what are people gonna think? I don't want to wear this because what are people gonna think? I don't want to do this job because people are gonna talk about me. Nobody is that worried about you. Nobody is. People have their own lives to worry about, and you have to worry about your own life and do the things that make you happy, pause, because people don't care. People literally don't care. And if they do care, who cares? Like, you have to live your life for you. When you look back at your life and you're like, oh my gosh, I should have done this, that, and the third, those people whose opinion you were worried about are not going to be there with you. Like, and most of the people who you care about their opinion, you don't even like those people, so who cares? Like, you have to literally stop. You have to just stop. I'm telling you, become the most confident version of yourself. Start doing and living your life for you, because nobody else is gonna live your life for you. Nobody else is gonna love you the way that you can love you. You get what I'm saying? You know everything that you need. You know everything that you love. You know all your favorite things. You know everything that you like to do. Start giving yourself the love that you crave from other people, and I'm telling you, your life is gonna do a 360, like 180. 360, I don't know. But yeah, y'all, just be confident, love yourself. I have so many more tips, and I used to be so severely insecure. I used to not even leave my dorm sometimes because of how insecure I was. And it's hard to admit, but it's okay, because now I'm so confident because I followed these steps. So I'm telling y'all, like, just be confident. Life is too short. Like, live your life, love yourself, and not just for like, oh yeah, I love myself for social media. No, really love yourself like your life depends on it, because baby, literally, it does. Yes. And yeah, but I love y'all so much. I hope that y'all have a beautiful day. I hope that this helped somebody, because like I said, y'all are too beautiful to not be confident. Okay, so become the most confident version of yourself. I love you so much, and hope you have a good day. Bye.
She's so cute. I love that. I love that.
You know how many times I compliment myself a day?
Let them know, Sprinkle Sprinkle.
Let me tell y'all a secret. I compliment myself so much that I don't need compliments from a man. But when I get them, from men, they don't even matter. They're not even a big deal to me because I know already that I look good and I tell myself that every day. So I don't go out seeking validation outside of myself. I go out seeking some money. If I'm expecting anything from a man, it ain't no compliment, it's some money.
It cracks me up.
Okay. So instead of wasting your time expecting compliments and stuff like that, expect money because you can compliment yourself. And if the man is with you, he obviously don't think you ugly.
Right.
Sprinkle, sprinkle. If he's seen out in public with you,
share 7, y'all.
he obviously think you look good enough to be out in public. So get your money, ma'am. You said I'm conceited and proud, as you should be.
Period. I love me some share 7, y'all. I love me.
People with high self-esteem do better in life.
And this is why now I hype myself up every single day. Because I am so over having low self-esteem, not having.
Not he just got on this camera with this good skin and just ate us all up. Okay, like the man is fucking glowing. Okay, listen.
Confidence in myself, feeling like I can't do something, feeling afraid. What we will do is try. What we will do is make an honest, healthy attempt. And what we will do is succeed either way. Because trying is succeeding. Putting your all into something, that is success. Yes. How many people do you know actually try? How many people do you know actually put their all into something that they are passionate about? A lot of people don't do that. And a lot of people try to talk you out of your hopes and dreams. And they want to keep you where you are because they're so afraid of you growing beyond them and their control. And on top of that, a lot of people are looking to like steal your life, your identity, and try to live in your shoes. And they feel like if you're not confident enough to do it, then they'll do it because they want to have everything that's for you. And they don't realize that they're supposed to have what's for them. And see, people with high self-esteem, they don't be worrying about all of this. They mind their business. They focus on themselves. They live happy. They love themselves and they thrive. And I know a lot of people think that some confident people are just masking. No, some confident people are literally just that, confident. Not everybody has trauma. Not everybody is miserable. Not everybody is unhappy. And those of us that are trying to come out of the stuff that we've been through, a lot of us just want to be happy. A lot of us don't want to focus on it anymore. And if we do talk about it, it's in a way in which we have learned and healed from it in hopes that other people will learn and heal from it because it's all about progression. It's all about moving forward. Who wants to say miserable, insecure, and sad?
Right.
Like forever?
Yeah.
I want a new playlist.
Hello.
It's nice outside. The sun is out.
Yes.
I'm trying to have some confidence.
Period.
I'm trying to live my best life. I'm trying to live in my skin. I think it's really important for each of us to learn and know that it is okay for all of us to be ourselves.
Yes.
We don't have to sit up here and try to change people. Try to get people to understand us. Try to get people to accept us. No. Accept yourself. Hype yourself up. Tell yourself that you are amazing. If there is one thing that I have learned to do, it has been to repetitiously recite what I deserve, who I am, and what I will achieve. I do it every day. Sometimes it just happens naturally, honestly, at this point. And there's nothing wrong with me speaking what I want into existence. You are allowed to pursue your dreams. You're allowed to have your own goals, aspirations, and you're allowed to have the highest self-esteem on the planet for you. You don't have to dim yourself down for anybody. That's so toxic. I don't know why people were out here telling us that. A lot of them are unhappy with themselves, but that's not my problem. Boundaries are okay to have. In fact, we all should have them. Everybody should be able to choose what they will and will not tolerate. And whoever can't deal with it, that's a them problem. That's not a me issue. That's not a you issue. That's a them issue, babe. Not too much now. Or what? What you gonna do about it? Nothing. Now come over here and love me.
Period.
Sir. Because if you don't, somebody else will. Somebody else always will.
Period, Pooh. I love him. I love his energy.
Look, I may have decentered men, but if there's one...
Can we talk about... Wait, no, because I didn't mess the damn thing up, y'all. Trying to pause it. Okay. Can we talk about how everybody that has got up on here has some really pretty ass skin? So if nothing else, set the boundaries and working on that esteem of self has been making sure that the skin is clear, hunty. Okay?
One thing. They will test you. They will test you like a Scantron sheet, honey. Yes, they will test you to see where your self-esteem is ranked. High self-esteem is linked to high standards, high quality, high respect, high ranking, and to some degree, even higher learning. And that is a meter that you do not want to rank low in. The lower your self-esteem is, You finna get the doormat treatment. That's the best way I can put it. You will be treated like a doormat, and you will be picked for one thing and one thing only. That is the worst position you could ever be in as a woman.
I can remember being in it was a relationship that I was in, and once I really started to like sit back and say, wow, to myself, like, you allowed this, okay, what happened, and I would really talk to myself. Whenever he and I would have like discourse or disagreement, and I would speak up because I was something that was new to him, I would always be like, I'm not doormat Tay, I'm not a doormat anymore, you're not gonna yada 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 yada. So it's wild that she brings this up because it's true. Like, people treat you how you treat yourself.
All this advice, all these women coming on these apps and telling you their stories, have you not learned, sweetheart? You need to have high self-esteem. Now, Camille, how does one get high self-esteem? What do I need to do? Tell me. You got to put your foot down. I don't care how tempting it is. I don't care how fun it looks or how fine he appears to be, or because by you saying no, you are letting him know that, hey, I'm not going to tolerate this. Whatever you're saying to me, whatever you're trying to get at, whatever your intentions are, it's not going to work here. It holds no merit, it holds no validity, and it holds absolutely no value or benefit to me as a woman. And I'm telling you, when you get to that point in your life as a recovering wounded feminine, I gotta tell you, the power I feel when I set boundaries, I feel so powerful, because that lets me know that I do the choosing. I choose who to give my energy to. I choose who I give my time to. Because with time and with energy, you can't get it back. You can't get a refund on it. Once you give it away, it's gone forever. And we only have so much time on this green and blue earth. Do not fail the test. I'm telling you, y'all, especially if you're a woman. And this is gonna sound so bad when I say this, but here we go. When you set boundaries with people, especially with men, they will respect you, because they thought that they had the power to get what they want from you. But once they realize in that moment, after you set those boundaries, that it's not going to work, well, they have no other choice. They have no other choice but to respect you. And believe it or not, it has worked every single time with me. This is just with anybody, regardless of who they are, because with boundaries, respect follows. Especially if you are a woman who commands respect, who understands and acknowledges her values, is intentional, and every room that she enters, she wants to create impact. It is imperative, because I'm telling you, you will get tested when you talk to a man. Okay? Even if you're having a conversation in good faith and it's going well, he's gonna weave it into the conversation, and it is on you to have that discernment and to be 10 steps ahead and to just clock that immediately. Having high self-esteem is a built-in life guide. It's a built-in life tool that so many women forget even existed within them. And it is on her to unlock that and to build up the repertoire so that in that way she can protect herself accordingly.
Period. Boo.
Here's 5 tips that you can personally use to help you restore your self-esteem. First and foremost, I just want to tell you that we've all had those days and moments where we personally do not feel very high within our self-esteem, or we don't really feel good about ourselves.
Right.
It's completely normal to have insecurities, but one thing I do know for sure is that they are not meant to stay in your life forever. You can feel bad about something, but you also have the ability to change the way you view it, change the way you see it, and change the way you feel about it. Number 1, be more kinder to yourself. Be more gentle, be more patient. You know, that little voice that you have in your head telling you that you're not good enough, telling you that you can't achieve this, you will never be great, and all of those things of the sort. I want you to find a positive thought to contradict that with. Don't listen to it. Instead, replace it with a voice that actually believes in you. So find a positive thought that you can actually replace that negative belief within.
Number 2, start setting small goals that you know you can work towards and will help you build that momentum and help you also build that confidence within yourself, right? Because how you do one thing is how you do anything. Right. Once you start accomplishing those little small goals and those goals that you just set for yourself in general, it's something about that confidence that just shoots up, right? Because you feel like you can conquer the world. You feel like you are powerful. You feel like you have value. You feel like you are worthy of the things that you are working towards. Number 3, I want you to simply do you. Do you. Do what's best for you. Be honest and authentic throughout the process, right? Because anytime that we're being honest, we're being true to ourselves. Anytime that we're telling a lie or we're telling lies to other people, we are operating from a space of a false narrative, of a way in which you do not see yourself. Authenticity is freedom. Always remember that even when things go wrong, it's always working out in your favor. Yes. What's meant for you will always be for you. Yes. Number 4, make sure you are getting on your Zoom every single morning. No, I'm just kidding. Make sure you're stating your affirmations every single day and throughout the day as much as you need to restate them. Affirmations are going to help you reprogram your subconscious mind and help you instill better beliefs and build better confidence when it comes to surrounding your self-concept and when it comes to viewing yourself, which is very, very essential. Number 5, I want you to focus on the things that you can change. It is so freaking easy to get caught up in everything that we cannot control and change within our life. But what about the things that truly matter? What about the things that we actually can control? Like our mindset, like our beliefs, like our emotions and things like that. Let's start tapping into those things and regulating our emotions so that we can get more in tune with ourselves and we can actually start living a life that is more of our desire. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into alignment. Because you can control that. I know I said 5 tips, but I got a little bonus. Number 6, go out and do some acts of love and acts of service. When you are not feeling your best, when you're not truly feeling good throughout the day, go out and show gratitude into the world. Go out and do a great deed. Like, it could be something as simple as opening the door, feeding a homeless person. You know what I'm saying? Doing something that you wouldn't normally do or that you would just love to do or enjoy to do. Go out and do a good deed today. I encourage you to just go out and do something you've never done before. For me personally, it's just really, really amazing to know that you have a true impact on this world and you can truly make someone's day just by doing a good deed, whether it's big or small. It does not matter. You can really change the world little by little. So go out and do a good deed today. Go out and make someone's day. And then it'll just brighten up yours. You know what I'm saying? Also, if you like this video, I definitely encourage you to follow me. I am Brittany LaChristian, your personal feminine healing coach. And also like and share this video for more.
When you have low self-esteem, you do not trust yourself. You do not trust yourself in relationships. You do not trust yourself in making big decisions, well, small or big decisions. You question everything that you do. And when you question everything that you do, you begin to self-sabotage. And I just recorded a YouTube video about this. It's going to be uploaded tomorrow. But I'm going to just give y'all a glimpse into what I was speaking about. Sabotaging is intentionally destroying something. So when you go into self-sabotage, you are intentionally destroying yourself. Do you know how deep that is?
That's
and you
real.
know that is only but the plot of the enemy. Like, the enemy wants you to doubt what God has told you to do. The enemy wants you to doubt your identity in Christ. But you can take it all back. You just got to get in that word, tap in.
Yes.
Have I ever dealt with low self-esteem? No. I always had high self-esteem, no matter what. You know why? I think it's because of the way that I think. If you change the way you think, you won't have low self-esteem. Okay? If you change what you don't like about yourself, you won't focus on that to create the low self-esteem in which you are developing by thinking lower thoughts of yourself. You can't just say, I have low self-esteem because of what someone told me, because of what I look like, because of whatever. Okay, those are all choices that you make every day that you wake up in the morning. Take full responsibility for yourself. Why do you have low self-esteem? You need to ask yourself this every morning. Why do you have low self-esteem? What is the answer? Because A, B, C, and D. Okay, well, how do you solve A, B, C, and D? Work on it today, this morning. Get up and work on that. And once you do that on a daily basis, there's no more low self-esteem because you done fixed it. Okay?
So that's what you need to do. You need to wake up solution oriented. That's it. That's all you can do. There's nothing else you can do.
Yep.
Wake up solution oriented or stop complaining, period.
We've all had those days and those moments where your self-esteem is not the best, you don't feel so great. But I watched bare YouTube videos and I'm coming with you for 5 ways to boost your self-esteem. It's normal to have insecurities, but they're not meant to stay. When you love yourself, you grow, so you need to make some new habits. Number 1, take action. You know a lot of shit. You know what you need to do. It's time to put that into work. And do not cut corners. Do not take shortcuts. Remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. If you see that garbage on the floor and you don't throw it in the trash that's right there, that's going to come into a bigger habit, into bigger things. You got to have a habit of achieving greatness in all areas. Your habits define your success. Remember that. Essentially, stop being so lazy. Number 2, be honest and authentic. This is a big one. Always express your truth with love and compassion. Doesn't matter if it hurts somebody's feelings as long as you spoke your truth. Don't even lie on the little things because that's going to give yourself a false sense of yourself. For example, somebody asks you, how are you? And you say good and move on, knowing damn well you're hungry. No, be like, nah, I could go for a little 1-2 bite, but I'll be all right. Do it for your sake. Lying comes from the fear of being vulnerable. Trust me, every single lie will fuck you up. Just don't put up a front. Authenticity is freedom. Even if things go wrong, at least you know you're your true self. You weren't lying. You weren't trying to put up a front. So what is coming to you is actually made for you. And sometimes you just gotta swallow your pride. You're not perfect. You're human. Número 3, affirmations. I've made 2 videos on this. Never, ever speak negatively about yourself because it's not a joke. Always speak words of encouragement to yourself, even if you may not believe it in the moment. Our true self is very loving and compassionate. We're supposed to be supported and loved. It was the world that made us critics. The world always has something negative to say. Think about it. When you were a kid, you were fearless up until a point when you learned all these things that are wrong with you. Number 4, contribute acts of love and service. Every time I'm feeling shitty, I'll do something small like opening the door for somebody. Even if they aren't appreciative of it, I know I'm a good ass human. I did that. I can do great things in this world, period. But when you do receive love back, it's even more fulfilling and uplifting. Because you know that you have the power to impact lives. You really could make somebody's day with something so small. It makes you feel really proud of yourself and you walk around knowing, hey, I know who I am. So if somebody want to go ahead and hate on me, nah, I know who I am. I know what I do for people. Anyways, I thought 3 minutes was going to be enough for this video, but clearly it's not. I've been talking damn fast. So number 5 will be in the next part. While you're here, follow for more.
I believe that's it, y'all. Yeah. Ignore the happy birthday, Junior. I keep forgetting to take that off. I had made a birthday video for my baby boy, and I just keep forgetting to take that little cap cut thing at the end. But that was an hour and a half, y'all, of just sewing into y'all, and I hope that y'all took it that way. I really like that the last few videos talked about acts of service. That is something that like I just naturally do. I enjoy. And so for myself, one of the things that I love about being a hairstylist is that I meet new people all the time, and I meet people from all different walks of life. And then on top of that, I have clients that are really comfortable with me. And so we talk about everything under the sun. Like you really do become your clients' therapists. And for myself, I'm okay with that because I created the safe space for my clients to do so and be able to do that. And for me, it feels like my ministry. So excuse me. I've had like one of my clients, she came and sat in the chair one day and she was just so beat. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And she was like, "I'm just really tired." And I was like, "Oh, I understand." And she was telling me that she was thinking about quitting nursing school. And I was like, "Well, what's wrong? Like, I know it's hard, but like, what are you struggling with?" Right. And she was saying that it was this math class and she just could not for the life of her, like she was just having the hardest time with it. And so I asked her, I said, "Okay, well, how much more of this class do you have left?" And she was like, it was like, I think like a month or 2. And I said, "Well, what grade do you have in the class right now?" And she was like, "Oh, I have a B." And I looked at her and I said, "Are you serious?" And she was like, "Yeah." I said, "So you're finna quit this class because you have a B?" I said, okay, girl, listen. So anyway, we ended up talking about it and I validated how she felt about it. But that girl is now on our end. You don't realize how just by being yourself, you are a blessing to people. And I think that also ties into this whole conversation that we're having about self-esteem and confidence, is that God made you for a reason. And the only thing that you can continue to do for you is to continue to get better and improve on yourself. And when you do that, you make everything around you better, right? So even if you're not intentionally trying to make people's lives better, you're just trying to work on you, you will do that anyway, just because of the energy that you're operating in. And that's something that I learned about myself. So for me, I love to sew into people because it makes me feel better as well. Like even when I'm having a shitty day, like one of the things that I love to do is when I am having a not so good day, I will literally like send out text messages and be like, give me some good news. Or I like to watch like those videos of like the soldiers coming home, or I like to watch like the couples videos and stuff like that, because those things make me happy to see. I just like to see people happy. But once again, that comes in your healing, because if you are not a happy person, then you're probably not going to be happy seeing other people happy. It's something that needs to be worked on within yourself. But I want to say that once again, like with all of my videos, I really pray that this video sows into you and it touches something in your spirit. I know it's a much longer video. Hopefully you popped the AirPod in and you went and cleaned or did something, but I'm really big on this because the world can be not nice. The world can make you feel like you're less than. The world can make you feel like you don't have a place. I've struggled myself with suicidal thoughts. I've struggled myself, especially when I was younger and I was still going through the child abuse, where it made me question why I was here. It made me question, like, God, like, there's no way that you love me if you're allowing these things to happen to me and you're allowing these people to treat me this way, right? And then I also realized that even when I got older and I realized, okay, I'm in charge of me now, a lot of my self-sabotage came from, I would get in this funk and then people would be mistreating me. And then, the PTSD part of me would be telling me like, oh, you deserve that because this is all life has ever been for you. And you see how you can go down that spiral. And so now, I changed those things. So I can't remember because we did watch so many videos, but there was a video where the lady talked about like changing how you speak to yourself. And that's one of the things that I started to do. So for me personally, I think it was a young lady in the car, but anything that you have to say about me that is negative, I'll flip that. And I do it for two reasons. One, because I just am in a space where I truly don't believe what you're saying. But two, you have to remember that 9.9 times out of 10, the negative things that people have to say about you is a direct reflection about how they feel about themselves. So, like I've had friends, well, ex-friends now. I had an ex-friend that literally like kissed the ground that I walked on and then one day was like, I don't like this bitch. All right, cool. And went on this whole smear campaign about, oh, the bitch is miserable and yada, 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 yada. And I was truly at that time living my best life. Like I was cool. I was minding my business. But you were doing that to get a reaction out of me. But at the same time, you like, oh, you're miserable. No, you're miserable. You're miserable because we're no longer friends anymore. It's things like that. One of the things I do, because I do have like a social media presence, right, is that when people say negative things to me, I send them love. And I'm only giggling at it because it pisses people off. And I'd be genuine. Like I'll be serious. Like, so for instance, it might be somebody that a lot of people on the internet, right? They have like the black women bashers, right? And they'll be like, oh, because you black women and yada, yada, yada. And I just go, hey, sweetheart. So, therapy is a thing. It worked for me. And I really suggest that you try it for yourself. And I pray that you have the day that you deserve. I don't argue with people. And then you got to think they're fishing for that. If you're putting out that amount of hatred, especially on the internet under some random person's post, it's because you feel that way about yourself. Right? It's like those men that get in the comments and they're projecting all of the world's insecurities on them. And you're sitting there like, have I met you before? So one of the things that I always tell my babies is that it doesn't matter what anyone says about you. It's about what you and God say about you. And if you in your heart of hearts know that what these people are saying is a crock of bullshit, then why would you even let it enter into your mental plane. You reject that shit. You go, you know what? This doesn't even serve me. I said, now return that shit back to sender. And that's exactly what I do. So I pray that this video sowed into you all's spirit. Please get in the comments and let me know what you think. And I will see y'all in the next video. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.